fascinating museum exhibits. Hello to you on the other side and warm welcome back to my channel, Fact District. Before we begin, I would like to take a moment in suggesting you subscribe to our channel and check out our other videos. Don't forget to ring the bell icon below and stay updated as we post new content every day. Are you in search of escaping reality? Do you wish to explore somewhere that could grab your inner thoughts and force you just to enjoy the present moment? Throughout the whole world, places like cultural institutions and museums signal people to come out of their comfort zone and explore new things, cultures, topics, and knowledge through carefully collected and curated exhibitions wherein each carries a different story altogether. So if you are one of those who believe that museums are boring, well, my dear friend, I would suggest you think it over again. Exhibitions and galleries in all the corners of the world have managed to create art full of culture and history, which is so engaging that it could change anyone's mind. Anyone. Today, I'll be bringing to your notice a few of the fascinating museum galleries in the whole world. So before any further ado, shall we get started? Number 5. The Museum of Royal Tombs of Cepán in Chiclayo. The Royal Tombs of Cepán Museum is located in Lambacheque, a city in Peru. But do you know what it's exactly famous for? The museum is home to most of the important ancient artifacts like jewelry, necklaces, utensils, and other expensive ceremonial vessels. It was discovered back in the year 1987 by an archaeologist, Walter Alva. These artifacts are said to have been found at Huaca Rajada. The police specially called Walter Alva to investigate and do research at the Moque archaeological site at Cepán. There were stories that grave robbers were said to have been looting many artifacts at the site. When Walter Alva began his search at the site, he soon found out that he was not evacuating just a few small pieces of gold and other precious stones. Still, they were the famous tomb of the legendary Lord Cepán and its other important 14 members of the Moque civilization. After making such huge discoveries, it was decided that a separate museum has to be built to honor Lord Cepán. Therefore, the Museum of the Royal Tombs of Cepán was constructed and laid over to showcase one of the biggest archaeological discoveries in South America. The museum also displays all the luxurious artifacts, ceremonial vessels, and pieces of jewelry of that time. Number 4. Le Louvre, Paris. Le Louvre Museum, also famously known as the Musée du Louvre, is located in the romantic city of Paris, France. The present museum is about 2 centuries old. Before being a museum, Le Louvre was a medieval fortress and the palace of France's kings. Did you know Le Louvre is the world's second largest art museum and is home to the famous painting Mona Lisa? The museum has a wide range of collections curated in a very artistic way which can overwhelm even a person who is not into art and culture. The museum's collection ranges right from all the antique elements to the first half of the 19th century. The museum is so gigantic that one can easily be lost while strolling around the museum. Did you know the remnants of the medieval Louvre are still visible? The Louvre had finally become a museum during the famous French Revolution. Back in the year 1791, it was officially declared that the Louvre would be regarded as a place that brings together all the monuments of arts and science. The other main attractions in the museum are Winged Victory of Samothrace and Venus de Milo. Hey, wait a minute. Did you drop a like to this video already? Looks like you forgot to even subscribe to our channel. No issues. Here is a reminder for you to do so, and yes, don't forget to ring the bell icon below for all the future updates about our upcoming content. Number 3. The National Arts Center, Tokyo. NACT, the National Arts Center, is a popular, modernized museum located in the largest city of Japan, Tokyo. Japan is known for its smooth culture, but to everyone's surprise, one can never guess the awe-striking work of art one might come across in this museum. This massive museum is home to many mind-blowing Japanese masterpieces and other antique sculptures. Every artistic thing you come across in this museum carries a story behind it. This happening institution was established back in the year 2007. This impressive museum gained widespread acclaim and a huge fan following just within a few days, and soon, this quirky place was rated as one of the must-visit tourist destinations in Tokyo. Do you know this museum gets around 2 million visitors every year? The National Arts Center has become the pride of Japan. The museum organizes new exhibitions and events to showcase its new collections. The past exhibitions of NACT had covered a wide range of topics, right from the attractive works of the famous Claude Monet to the impeccable history of Cartier. It even involved how anime is impacting traditional Japanese culture. Number 2, the Metropolitan Museum of Art, New York City. Well, when we talk about the largest museum in the United States, we point towards the Metropolitan Museum of Art, which is located in New York City. This museum is also called Met in short. Do you know how many collections are housed in this esteemed museum? They have over 2 million works under their permanent collection. These 2 million works are divided into 17 different departments. The rise of the Metropolitan Museum of Art had begun back in the year 1866 when a group of Americans had come together in the romantic city of Paris and discussed how they could promote art education to the general public. After all the discussions, decisions were taken, and by the year 1970, the Metropolitan Museum of Art was finally opened. This massive and esteemed museum represents about 5,000 years old artwork, a mix and a match of different cultures. One interesting point about this museum is that it is not oriented towards a single culture, and this is what draws in a large gathering of people to the museum. The museum also includes the artwork of old Islamic culture from the 7th century. They even have the famous The Dance Class painting by the well-known French Impressionist Edgar Degas. If you're one of those people who enjoy visiting museums, then trust me, the Metropolitan Museum in New York is a museum you have to visit. It is a place worth giving a shot, I bet. Number 1, the Museum of Qin Terracotta and Horses in Xi'an, China. I don't know whether you are aware of any, but I must say, the legendary stories related to ancient China are mind-blowing. The ancient Chinese-started terracotta sculptures showcases nothing but the large army of Qin Shi Huang. Who is Qin Shi Huang? He's the first emperor of China. The ancient Chinese museum depicts each member of the first emperor's army. Few viewers find it to be eerie, but the quality of the art is so beautiful. The figures are so finely sculpted that the sculptor have focused on even the smallest details in the art. The army is dated back to the 3rd century, but it was later discovered back in the year 1974 by some Chinese farmers at the outskirts of Xi'an City. It is estimated that the ancient museum consists of about 18,000 soldiers, 670 horses, and about 130 to 150 chariots. It is so huge. They say that a group of peasants had discovered some ancient pottery while digging in search of a well near the tomb. Just because the museum represents these 8,000 soldiers does not mean that there is nothing else in this ancient institution. Apart from all the elements from Qin Shi Huang's army, people can also visit other museums like the Museum of Terracotta Civil Officials, the Museum of Stone Armors, Terracotta Acrobatics, and last but not least, the Museum of Horse and Bronze Chariot. So this brings us to the end of our video. Hope I was successful in changing your mind that museums are interesting places to explore oneself and come across many artifacts delivering culture and history. Also, I am keen to know which one of these enlisted museums is your go-to place now. Before I bid you farewell, I would like to remind you to like and share this video and don't forget to subscribe. It highly motivates us to make more interesting content for you all. Stay tuned for the next upcoming video and bye for now.